How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Syracuse Aviation, and welcome back to another airport update of Syracuse Hancock International Airport. Today's update is the 6th update for Syracuse for the month of July 2022. It's pretty much the same as June was, so honestly there's not really a whole lot to say. I'll probably add some stuff as we get into the aircraft and as we talk about specific flights. Maybe there are some small things that I haven't mentioned, but for the most part it's pretty much the same. So I'll try to fit in as much information as I can to try and make it a little bit interesting for you guys. So without further ado, we'll get started here at Gate 1 with the Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800 in the Heart livery. This is a new model. I did an unboxing of this a couple days ago, so if you'd like to check that out, feel free. This aircraft will be heading out to Baltimore Washington International Airport. Baltimore has been a mix of 737-700s, 800s, and MAX 8s, just like the last update. I think I made note of that. So it's been nice to have Baltimore here, hoping that they expand to Midway still. It's something I'm just praying for at this point. It would do super well here. So yeah, once again, nevertheless, we have just this for Southwest for today's update. So looking very good here. At Gate 3 here, we have this JetBlue Airways Airbus A320 with fence tips and the spotlight tail. This aircraft is on the turn-on flight to Boston. So Boston's still Embraer 190s as well as JFK. We haven't had a JetBlue A320 since our Orlando service, which ended a few months back, which is pretty unfortunate because that was a really cool service and very useful here. So I'm hoping that they return with Orlando. Now with the Spirit merger as well, that may add some more aircraft and flexibility with routes. So maybe we'll even see Fort Lauderdale or further expansion out of this airport, which would be really awesome. But yeah, for today, just Boston here filling in for an Embraer 190. Once again, the JetBlue A320 here at Gate 3. Moving along into the American Airlines section now, here at Gate 5, we have an American Eagle CRJ 700. This is actually there's only one flight that goes out of Gate 5 every day. So it's Philadelphia on the CRJ 700. It arrives in at about 10 p.m. and then will depart at around 6:10 p.m. the next morning. So it overnights here. It's the only flight out of Gate 5, as I said. So I still like to include it nevertheless because obviously the more aircraft in the update, the better. So it's nice to see that Gate 5 is in use in one way or another. So American does have 5 gates here, which is very nice to see, so it's always nice to be able to include this and make that a nice little corner here in the ACON course. So once again, before we move on to the next aircraft, we have the American Eagle CRJ 700. This one's actually on pushback, so it'll be heading out to Philadelphia. Next up, here at Gate 6, we have another American Eagle CRJ 700. This one is on the turn-on flight to Washington, DCA. Typically, our DCA flights occur out of Gate 6. I don't believe there's any other gates that they operate this flight out of. So this is pretty much an exclusive gate for that destination. Now, DCA is mostly CRJ 900s, it looks like, which is very nice to see. Maybe they're increasing the frequency, or not the frequency, but the payload on that. As I mentioned in the last update, too, we are getting 6 A319s a week for DCA. That's the later in the evening flight. So that's very nice to see. Hopefully NG can release an American A319 for us. They'll knock that out of the park. It'll be a beautiful model, I'm sure of it. So I'm really hoping they can do that for us, and I'll be able to represent that in the Syracuse update. So once again, here at Gate 6, I guess we can say this is filling in for a CRJ 900. But we have an American Eagle CRJ 700 at Gate 6 heading out to Washington, DCA. Moving along to the next aircraft, here at Gate 8, we have an American Airlines Boeing 737-800. This aircraft is on the turn-on flight to Charlotte Douglas International Airport. As I'm looking at the schedule here, the one I'm looking at currently that's operating this flight, it's not the same exact aircraft, but it is one of the American 737-800s with the winglet logo, which is very cool. I don't know how much more frequent we're starting to see those, but it sounds like the whole fleet's going to get them, which is very nice. So once again, this is heading out to Charlotte out of Gate 8. Charlotte has been doing very well, still been American mainline, which is very nice to see, A320s and 737-800s. Next up, here at Gate 10, we have an American Eagle E-175. This aircraft is on a turn-on flight to Chicago O'Hare. Chicago's been a lot of 175s and 170s for the most part, so American doesn't have mainline on Chicago, which is unfortunate. I guess United Airlines is just, maybe they have better fares or better times, I don't really know, but I'm pretty confident within the next 10 years maybe we'll start seeing mainline for this route, which would be really, really nice to see. So yeah, for now, for Chicago, we just have the 170s and 75s, which is still a pretty decent aircraft. So once again, here at Gate 10, we have an American Eagle E-175 heading out to Chicago O'Hare. Real quick, before I get into the last American Airlines aircraft for the update, I figured with this awesome tail lineup shot here, it looked very nice, and I figured I'd just get a nice view for you guys before we get onto the last American aircraft. So, on the bottom of the screen there, we have the American Eagle ERJ-145, then in the middle, the Allegiant A320 with sharklets, then the Breeze A220-300, looking really nice here in this awesome lineup. As I was saying, we're now getting into our final American Airlines aircraft for today's update, so we have the American Eagle ERJ-145 here at Gate 9. This aircraft is on the turnaround flight to Boston Logan International Airport. It's very unfortunate to see that Boston is doing as bad as it is, honestly. A one-Staley Embraer ERJ-145 for a city like Boston, that's not pretty good. That's actually pretty pitiful, to be honest. And the flights aren't even, they're pretty close to full, but there's still always a few open seats. Now, this is definitely because of JetBlue's operations out of Syracuse. They have flights to Boston on the Embraer 190, and I guess people probably prefer them over American for the most part, so that's probably why this is as low frequency as it is. So I'm hoping this is upgraded in the future as there's more demand and more growth for this city. So yeah, nevertheless, American's doing very nice things here at Syracuse, so looking great. Getting into our only Allegiant Air aircraft for today's update, here at Gate 11, we have the Allegiant Air Airbus A320 with sharklets in the new livery. This aircraft will be heading out to Nashville today. Nashville has been mostly A320s. There's been a couple A319s in the mix here, but for the most part it's been A320s, as well as most of the other Allegiant Air destinations from Syracuse have been A320s. I know a few updates ago, I think I was talking about how Sanford was on the A319 for the most part. Sanford's been on the A320 as of recent, which is very nice to see. Obviously, there's more demand for Sanford, which is really great. So it's very nice to see Allegiant, thriving here out of Syracuse. I don't know if I'd say thriving, but doing as well as they are with a large handful of destinations. So I'm hoping that they expand to Destin Fort Walton Beach, which would be a really good destination for them to have from here, as well as even Provo, I think would do well, like maybe a winter seasonal, which would be really nice, kind of in that greater Salt Lake area. I think an Allegiant route out of Syracuse would do really well there, so I'm hoping we'll see further Allegiant expansion. Maybe they'll do some competition if they go to airports that Breeze continues to expand at. Maybe they'll try and give Breeze some pressure there. So I'm hoping we'll see more additions in the future with Allegiant, but yeah, nevertheless, looking great here with Allegiant's operations out of Syracuse. Next up here at Gate 12, we have the absolutely stunning Breeze Airways Airbus A220-300. I'm very thankful that I did not have to do a Syracuse update where I had to do an Embraer 190 or 95 substitution. Breeze Airways, as you guys may know, had trouble getting the A220, I guess, certified or taking delivery of the A220. It was just a lot slower than they had hoped it would be, so they were behind with a lot of their routes. They had to have a lot of substitutions on the Embraer 190s. Las Vegas and Charleston both were on the 190 for a few weeks here. What they did with Las Vegas, because the range was a little bit too far, is they had to do a layover in Tulsa, or not a layover, but like do a stop in Tulsa, get fuel there, and then fly back into Syracuse, which is pretty interesting, but not really ideal. So yeah, thankfully, Charleston and Las Vegas now are both on the A220, which has been really good to see. I've been giving a lot of thought into expansions with Breeze Airways out of Syracuse. I've thought of Jacksonville, Palm Beach, Provo, as I was mentioning with Allegiant in the last aircraft. It'd be cool to have some competition there, maybe New Orleans or any airport like that. I think would be really nice out of Syracuse. It'd just be really nice to have more destinations with such a great airline like Breeze. So it's very nice to see with their two destinations out of Syracuse, they're doing so well that they're able to have the A220. Most of these flights are over, I would say, 65% booked. Actually, maybe closer to 70, because a lot of those flights, I look at the Breeze website where it shows you the seat map, and a lot of the economy passengers haven't selected their seat yet, so that's probably why. They're actually probably a lot more full than it looked like they are on the website. So it's been very good to see the Breeze loads doing very, very well out of here. So hoping that trend continues in the future, hoping they'll expand more, as I was saying. So looking very good here with Breeze Airways. Moving into the B concourse now, Gate 26 currently is empty. I do have a bunch of aircraft on order, and one of those aircraft will be in the Syracuse updates going forward, flying out of this gate. Once again, is Gate 26. So definitely keep your eye out for that in the coming Syracuse updates. Here at Gate 25, we have this Delta Connection CRJ 900. This aircraft will be heading out to Detroit. Now, one thing I've been thinking about the past couple of days is that around Syracuse, we have a few regional airports. We have Ithaca Tompkins International Airport, we have Greater Binghamton Airport, and Elmira Corning Regional Airport. Now, all those airports have daily services to Detroit with Delta Connection. Elmira Corning is actually 2 daily CRJ 900s, which is pretty nuts. I think that's about 172 passengers daily, or available seats a day. And Binghamton and Ithaca are both once daily CRJ 200. Now that's about 100 open seats every day. Now I'm thinking that maybe because those airports exist, or they have the air service to Detroit, I'm thinking maybe that's why Syracuse has been having some downgrades to Detroit on the CRJ 700. We used to have the CRJ 200. That's completely out of here, which is great to see. But we have had a lot of CRJ 700s coming in instead of the CRJ 900. So I'm wondering if maybe these regional airports, except for Ithaca being international, but you know what I mean, a lot of the smaller airports around us, I'm wondering if that's the reason why we're having downgrades to the CRJ 700. And it makes sense too, because all of our other CRJ 900 destinations with Delta Connection, so JFK and LaGuardia, are all on the 900s, and we haven't had any downgrades on those. Now, I get that they are different cities, but it kind of just further proves the point. Maybe these airports are kind of diluting our demand for Detroit out of Syracuse. So that's just something that came to mind, but nevertheless, we have Detroit, and we have it on the CRJ 900, so I'm pretty happy about that. So once again, at Gate 25, the CRJ 900 heading out to Detroit. So what we're going to see with the next two aircraft here is they're both operating out of the same gate. Now, this is the concept that a lot of other airports in the U.S. have. One that came to mind right away is Champaign University of Illinois Willard Airport, how they have a swing gate. Now, basically what happens is it's the same gate, but there's two different available parking spots for an aircraft. In this case, we have two spots with one gate, and they're both used by Delta, so mainly CRJ 900s here as well. So it's Gate 24 here for both of these CRJ 900s, but the one in front of us will be heading out to New York JFK. You can see they're getting the bags on, the fuel on, and all of that good stuff, and they'll be heading out shortly. And then the one above that will be heading to New York LaGuardia. Now, JFK, LaGuardia, as I was saying with Detroit, they're both CRJ 900s. It's been very nice to see. I know Albany a few years ago, I think, had the A319 flying this route to compete with Amtrak, I believe, or I guess there was some train service. So I don't think there's a lot of demand for any mainline jets, unfortunately, at the moment. That's kind of how it goes with these upstate New York airports. There's just not a whole lot of demand for New York because people would rather drive a lot of the time. So that's kind of what we're dealing with here, which is fine. I mean, at least we have these routes at all. Another thing, I would like to see Syracuse install some more jet bridges. So they had like 2 jet bridges at the B concourse a long time ago that now are vacant. Not that they're vacant, but the jet bridges don't even exist anymore. The parking spots, like the hard stands, still exist, but the gates don't. So I'd like to see them add those 2 gates back. One of those gates is by the United Express 550 that we'll see here in a few minutes. And the other gate is kind of before the empty gate that I showed. I think it was 25 or 26. So I'd like to see them add those back, as well as the swing gate here. I think we should have 2 jet bridges there as well and make things a little bit more efficient. We're kind of actually running low on gates here at Syracuse. Like, if there were another airline to join, there wouldn't really be space unless they fix up Gate 15. So they are planning to redo a lot of the jet bridges and terminal areas around those jet bridges, which is going to be great. So hopefully that's something we'll see them work on here in the near future. It'd be really nice to have some more availability with the jet bridges here. So yeah, once again, we have, again, at Gate 24, a Delta CRJ 900 heading out to New York LaGuardia. The last Delta Airlines aircraft for today's Syracuse update is sitting here at Gate 23. This is the Delta Airlines Airbus A319, which is currently filling in for an Airbus A320. So Syracuse is getting 3 daily Airbus A320s for Atlanta, so this will be heading down to Atlanta today. You can see they're getting the fuel on the other side, as well as the bags and the passengers as the jet bridge is attached. There's not really a whole lot to say with the Atlanta service. It's been pretty consistent. We used to have a few A319s in the mix, but now it's been all A320s from what I've seen. Also, I've seen a lot of the Atlanta services on the A320 out of here have been going out of Gate 24 as well. I do believe we are still having some of them operate out of Gate 23, but as of recent, I've noticed a lot of them are shifting over to Gate 24, which is very interesting. So I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, nevertheless, it's very interesting to see what's happening. I don't know if they're trying to reconfigure kind of their their schedule or their gates or whatever. But it's going to be very interesting to see what they continue to do here. So yeah, this is looking very good here with the Atlanta service out of Syracuse. Supposed to be 3 daily A320s as I was saying, but all I have is the A319, which is still a pretty good aircraft. So once again, here at Gate 23, the Delta Airlines Airbus A319, getting fuel on board in the bags and passengers loaded, which will head down to Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Currently sitting here at Gate 22, which is one of those gates I was mentioning a couple minutes ago, that has a gate but not a jet bridge. So one of those gates that I think we should definitely put a jet bridge back on, as there was one there back in the 2000s kind of era, I think, if I'm not mistaken. This is the United Express CRJ 550 filling in for CRJ 700, and this aircraft will be heading out to Newark. Now, Newark is a mix of CRJ 700s, 550s, and Embraer 175s, and even 170s, so it's kind of a wide range of aircraft. They're all relatively the same size. They're all regional jets, but 4 different aircraft coming in regularly from Newark. Pretty interesting to see that. So I'd hope, Newark being one of United's hubs, most of United's hubs out of Syracuse, so Chicago and Denver, those may actually be the only other 2, are mainline. So I'm hoping that Newark is upgraded one day to like maybe an A319 would work, or a 737-700 would be really nice to see. For now, it's regional jets, which I'm perfectly fine with. We have a lot of other mainline aircraft here kind of making up for that. So once again, here at Gate 22, the United Express CRJ 550 filling in for CRJ 700 will be heading out to Newark. And lastly, for United Airlines, here at Gate 21, we have the United 737-900 in the Eva Blue livery. I almost said MAX 9 there. We are going to get a 737 MAX 9 from Chicago on Friday, so that's tomorrow as of recording this video. I'm going to try to have this out by tonight. So Friday, July 29th, they're going to have a 737 MAX 9 for United on the Chicago turn. So Chicago is a lot of Airbus and 737-900s for the overnight. It's been great to see that. I'm also seeing a CRJ 700 coming in from Cincinnati, so I don't know what that's about. But United's been pretty good here at Syracuse, as I was saying. I was mentioning earlier I was going to have a model that I'll be able to use in the updates. That'll be for Denver. So that's actually, I'll just say it right now, is the Panda Models United A319 I'll be using for Denver. So it's going to be great to have all the United routes able to be included in these airport updates. So I'm very excited for that. So once again, here at Gate 21, we have the United 737-900 in the Eva Blue livery. This aircraft will be heading out to Chicago O'Hare. The final aircraft for today's update here at Gate 20 is the Frontier Airlines Airbus A320 with sharklets in the Griswold de Beer livery. Once again, here sitting at Gate 20 is waiting for its flight out to Raleigh-Durham. Raleigh-Durham has been 4 weekly, which is very impressive to me. I've been looking at the bookings, and they're not too full, so I wouldn't be surprised if they downgraded this route to 3 or 2 weekly. I think would definitely make more sense, but hey, I'm not going to complain with 4 weekly to Raleigh-Durham. I think that's a really awesome service to be having that many times a week. So it's great to see that. We also have Orlando and Denver going strong with Frontier out of Syracuse, so I don't know when the last time I had those operate here was, so I apologize if the last update was also Raleigh-Durham. I just think this is a really cool service. So that being said, looking great for Frontier Airlines, hoping they expand out of Syracuse more. I know we used to have Chicago O'Hare, which is a really interesting summer seasonal route, so I'm hoping that returns someday, but I think they're kind of dismantling that focus city or kind of hub for Frontier, which is unfortunate. So nevertheless, doing very well with the Frontier services that we do have. So looking great here with Frontier Airlines. Alright guys, that will do it for today's Syracuse update. Once again, this was the 6th update for Syracuse for July 2022. Really hope you guys enjoyed it. There's, again, not a whole lot of new things, but a few things to kind of give my thoughts about. Also, a few other things I wanted to mention. That I haven't talked about, I don't think. The airport is getting a new common use lounge. I don't know when it's going to be open, but it does sound like it's going to be a really nice lounge kind of located on the connector piece to the A concourse, which I'm very excited for. New passenger boarding bridges also coming soon. Looking very nice with the designs that I've seen. I don't know if they're going to be glass yet. It looks like they're not going to be, which is kind of surprising that we already have 4 of them and they're going to put more jet bridges in, but they're not going to be glass. I don't know. I'm going to hope they are, but we'll see. They're also trying to get a big plot of land kind of north of runway 28 that they're maybe going to try and put a parallel runway in. I'm not sure when they're going to do it, but it sounds like that's what they're going to try and acquire that piece of land for. So I'm very excited for that. All these things happening at Syracuse Airport very nice, very surprising actually, because the greater Syracuse kind of metro area is like half the size of Rochester, New York, and the airports are pretty much the same size in terms of air service and yearly passengers. So I think, considering the area, I think the airport's doing very well, and we're still continuing to grow, which has been very nice to see. So very proud of the airport. Definitely, I think it's pretty underrated, to be honest. I don't even really think that's coming with a lot of bias, just being from the area. I just think the airport's one of the, just a really great airport all around, and doesn't really get a lot of credit. So that's kind of why I try to, make the Syracuse airport videos a little bit more in depth and special. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's Syracuse update. If you did, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave me a comment below, and I'll be happy to try and answer you or get back to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.